Hello. Discipline. It's an ugly word, right? No. The Lord disciplines those that he loves. So I'm not talking about our own self-discipline, although that is a very good topic, especially for homeschool moms, right? I think we have to be disciplined. We have to tell ourselves what to do and do it, right? Because then we have all these other people following us. We talked about scheduling in the very first video and the basic of basics, basic basics. But you know what? Schedule is one of those things that people freak out about. So this isn't what the video is about, but I have to talk about it a little more because scheduling, it gives you freedom. Okay. Your schedule can be your best friend. It does not need to be crazy. But it'll give you freedom because during school time you do school and you don't have to worry about the dishes because you have dish time coming later, right? Okay, I'm going to make another video about that. So let's talk about discipline with your children. How do we deal with the bad attitudes? Okay, first, we need to work on our own. I think that is key, right? That more is caught than taught, and we have to come at our day starting from a good place, and do those things that you need to do that help you get in the right mindset in the very beginning when you start your day. And now we've tried different things with our schooling, and you're going to want to play around with it. Like some people do circle time and, they sing songs whenever. We've had worship time, and sometimes I have a hard time though when we get going kind of busy like that. It's hard to settle us back down. So I've had to play with that some. But it does help to start you guys in a good mood, right? Or start the day in prayer together and in reading. I really like, while we're eating breakfast, to read while that time. Like they're already sitting there, they're already busy. I really enjoy getting our Bible time in during breakfast. And then starting your day from there. And now that's a lot of it's cleanup and whatnot. But bad attitudes are so contagious. And when we let our kids have that, it just permeates the whole house, right? Like it keeps going from child to child, and then you're mad at them all, and it just turns out ugly. So we have to really work on this. And, the Lord was really helping me because we've had we've been traveling and we've been with family a lot for the past few weeks. And we've just been playing with cousins, which they've never done before. So I'm not we haven't done school, right? Not a lot. We haven't had much school time during that time because they're just really with their cousins. And I don't want to take away from that. At the same time though, then cousins went back to school and we needed to get some work done. And my kids were like, what? You're asking me to do stuff? I can't do this. They were really wigging out and their attitudes were horrible. And one started it and then it just went to the next and the next and the next. So I'll tell you some things that we've done in the past that we have done also this week to help. And I'm including my 15-year-old in this. I don't know what's into her, but she was having a rough time. Okay. One thing we found, I came from a very, interesting background, but I did not. Okay, when my kids would complain about stuff, school, their emotions, whatever, I felt like I want my kids to talk, right? I want them to share and tell me how they feel. But it became a bad habit of constantly telling me they didn't like things and they weren't happy about them. And a friend had to wisely tell me have them stop doing that. And that was just a weird concept to me. I'm like, well, what do you mean? And it's like, your kids don't need to fuss, okay? They don't need to complain. And it becomes a bad habit, right? You start complaining and you keep on that focus, right? So we started reading a book called ESP that I totally love. It's called Explain, Show, Practice. And they talk about, the first lesson in that book is doing what you're told when you're told. It's about obedience. And it says, do what you're told when you're told with a good attitude. And that whole with a good attitude thing blew my mind. I didn't know that was something I could expect of my kids. I didn't know that was something I could discipline them for. I just thought those are our emotions and we need to share our emotions. And I still agree that we need to share emotions and not to stuff our feelings. But we also need to not be stuck in habits of complaining and grumpiness, right? So what we started doing, if a kid is complaining and if they just have this bad attitude, right? They have to go stand against the wall, facing the wall, and they stand there until they're ready to come back and say, I'm really sorry for being a grouch or whatever, and I'm gonna work. I'm gonna have a better attitude this day, or something like that. We used to have a really good phraseology, but we haven't used it for a while until last week. We used it a ton for a couple of days. Those boot camp moments where it's like things kind of got a little out of hand, and we need to rein this back in, right? So, but that just works so well for us. Like they have that moment, they can chill out, and they have to come back saying like, I'm ready to have a good attitude, right? We want to keep it positive. We don't want them, you don't want to be saying, look, I'm not going to be a jerk anymore, whatever. It's like, okay, I'm ready to work with a good attitude, and I'm ready to get my stuff done. And some kids have to go over there for 10 seconds, and some kids have to go over there for 10 minutes, right? It really depends. I had one of my kids, she kept getting on timeout, or, her face against the wall, and she starts to walk away. She looks at me. She turns back around, puts her face against the wall, and I said, what are you doing? And she said, I just, sorry, it cracks me up. She said, I just did something bad in my head. I just need to keep standing over there. And I'm like, I love your honesty, and yeah, go, until you're ready to come back to this table and to do your work and to have a good attitude. Just keep standing over there. And I love that she was recognizing that in herself. So that is one thing. Doing it like that has been really helpful to us. It's like we all have bad days and we all have struggles. And I mean, we need to look at it. If our child is crying about the same lesson every day, look at that. Look at how we're teaching. Could we teach it a different way? Why is the child stuck? There might be a deeper issue, right? We're not just going to say like, this kid cries every day he does math. I'm going to spank him until he stops. Like, you might want to look a little deeper than that, right? But if it's just that complaining negative thing. And then I've noticed also with my kids, every single one of them has done it. So I'm sure others have done this. The older one always looks at the younger one and says, their schoolwork's so easy. Oh my gosh. It drives me crazy. And they've all done it to the next one. And I don't have an answer for this. I don't know. Should make them write some words over or something for me. But, golly, I have to say, it wasn't easy for you when you were at that point, because we don't want to make the other kids feel bad, right? And that's a big thing that we teach is just like being kind to one another and thinking about the words that you're saying and how they affect other people. So my big thing, that face against the wall is one of my best tips for that. Also, we'll put like, you have a set amount of school that has to get done that day, right? Like we have different goals that we've worked on together, and these older kids have made up a lot of their goals themselves, and we'll talk about that in another video. But so before they get to, I don't know, probably not go outside because we take breaks and go outside, but before you're going to watch any TV, this is going to be done. Before you get on the phone, whatever, this is going to be done. And if you just set those, little targets for them, and they know they have to complete this, then they can have that. It saves you so much energy. When they come asking for it, and it's like, well, did you finish your work? No. And then walk away and do it. And you don't have to worry about like the excess homework. It's like, I'll tell my kids, okay, we have this much time scheduled to work on your math thing. If you don't get it done at that point, because I used to, especially teaching as a large group of kids, I'm like, okay, we're going to work on this, and then later we're going to go start reading together, and then we're going to go on a walk together, whatever. I had this plan for the day, and I would have a kid that was still struggling with something from earlier, and it was like, well, you're just going to have to pause, and we're going to move on to the next thing, and then you'll have to do that later after we're done with school, because I was waiting for that child before, and that ended up wasting our day, right? And some kids take forever to do some stuff. So when I started saying, okay, we're just moving on, you have to just pause, and then you have to finish that before you can, watch TV or go play with friends or whatever it is. Things just get done. So those are some techniques we've used, and it has helped us a lot. Also, I mentioned this briefly, but I'm going to say it again. Like with my son, my older son, I really noticed that when we had a clear schedule for him, he knew exactly what was expected of him. He would just knock it out. He could just focus on it. But if I left this open-ended day, like I'm going to have these hours are mine, I get to do with you whatever I want. He didn't like those projects coming at him, and I've randomly, and I've heard. I think it was the Institute for Excellence in Writing guy. I'm forgetting his name right now. But I believe he was talking about that in one of his lectures also, about the difference between boys and girls and teaching them. But boys really enjoy that firm, concrete list that they can check off. It really helps them. Also, my older son definitely is ADD. I have not had him tested. I would say I'm also ADD. I have another daughter who put her face against the wall for her bad thoughts in her head, who I'm sure we're all, would be categorized of that if we got tested. So we've started doing some new things in our family, and I'm going to tell you, I do sell this product. So I'm sharing it with you because I sell it. I'm sharing it with you because it's awesome, and I sell it because it's awesome, right? But one of the things that it's just herbs, but it helps your glutathione, and it ups it 300%. So if you've seen anything about ADD, those kids are lower in glutathione. So I've got my son and I both on this, and it's helped me tremendously, and I'm seeing improvements with him, and I'm really excited about it. Like, he did school, he was doing his math sitting on the couch with his sister leaned up, like Andrew Poudois. Sorry, squirrel. Thank you, Jennifer. That's him. He has amazing talks. If you ever get on his talks, they're so good. Also, I used to follow the guy on, so this is proving my ADD to you guys, right? The guy for Apologia, he would do Facebook Lives. And I haven't seen those for a while, but they are fantastic. I would find him. Okay, backing up to that ADD talk I was telling you about. My son was doing school with his sister leaning against him on the couch, without complaining, without fussing. Usually he hates anybody touching them. He's off task instantly. And this herbal blend has really been helping him. So message me if you want to know more about it. I'd love to share with you these products because they're rad, really. But they're finding a lot of kids with ADD and ADHD getting help from this. Also, there's this other thing. Oh, I just threw it. So here, we also drink this drink. Oh, here, okay. It's called Axio. But it has this thing in it called DMAE. DMAE by tartrate. I don't know how to say that. But I was looking up because I was looking up the ingredients work, so I want to make sure this was all good, right? And this drink is one that they say is really great for kids with ADD. I'd love to send you videos. If this is something you struggle with, I could send you some cool videos. But I looked that ingredient up, and it said, that they found that in the 70s, this was a really great natural product that they would give kids for ADD, but it was too expensive, so they started making synthetic crap. So this stuff right here has the good stuff, the real stuff in it, and we are loving it. It's really helping emotions to chill a little, and focus is going better for us also. So I know with discipline, it's kind of an issue for those boys. And there's a lot of tips and tricks out there, of how to do school with those kids. And a lot of times the handwriting is horrible. This is my handwriting, right? It's horrible, but I think a million miles an hour, and it's hard to write that fast. And these kids, they really get stuck on that. And so I would say, pick your battles also, right? If your son is crying at handwriting every day, make it smaller, don't expect so much, or make it a real project. Write a letter to grandma, do things and don't correct it. Just let him do it. Let him get the practice without you correcting it and criticizing. Sorry, there's a loud. Sorry. So I hope that helps with the discipline issues, and message if you have questions. I'd love to help you out. If you're stuck with a situation with a kid and you're not really sure how to handle it, I would love to chat with you about that.